The Forgotten Room. The Forgotten Room. In the small, sleepy town of Ravensbrook, the old Whitaker mansion stood silent, its grandeur long faded into a decaying ruin. The locals spoke in hushed tones about the place, whispering of strange noises and flickering lights seen through the cracked windows. But for years, no one dared enter. One crisp autumn evening, a curious historian named Clara decided to investigate. She was determined to uncover the truth behind the mansion's reputation. Armed with a flashlight and a notebook, Clara stepped through the creaking front door, her heart pounding in anticipation. The mansion was a labyrinth of dust-covered furniture and cobwebbed chandeliers. Clara moved through the rooms with a mix of fascination and unease, documenting her findings. She climbed the grand staircase, its once beautiful wood now scarred and splintered, and made her way to the second floor. In a long corridor, she noticed an old door at the end, almost hidden behind a heavy drape. It had no handle, just a small keyhole. Her curiosity piqued, Clara found a dusty key on a nearby shelf, almost as if it had been waiting for her. With a trembling hand, she inserted the key into the lock. The door creaked open, revealing a small, dimly lit room. The air was thick with the smell of old paper and mildew. Inside, the room was filled with antique furniture covered in white sheets. But what caught Clara's eye was an old, tarnished mirror standing against the far wall. The mirror was unlike any she had seen before. Its frame was intricately carved with twisted vines and faces that seemed to shift when she wasn't looking directly at them. She approached it slowly, drawn by a strange compulsion. As she drew nearer, her reflection seemed to waver and distort. Just then, the temperature in the room dropped sharply. Clara's breath became visible, her heart racing. She turned around to leave, but the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Panicking, she tried to force it open, but it wouldn't budge. The mirror's surface began to ripple like water. Clara's reflection stared back at her, but it was no longer her own. The reflection was a gaunt, hollow-eyed figure with a twisted smile. It reached out through the glass, its hand emerging into the room. Clara stumbled backward, her mind reeling with terror. The figure's hand grasped at her, and she felt an icy grip close around her wrist. Desperate, she grabbed a nearby candlestick and swung it at the mirror. The glass shattered into 1,000 fragments, and the figure's grip vanished. The door finally gave way, and Clara burst out of the room, running down the stairs and out of the mansion. She never looked back. She left Ravensbrook that night, never to return. Years later, the Whitaker